make sure you're in the right place. I got a certified roll going around. Make sure to sign it before you leave. You can maybe check your bursar's receipt. We're going to spend a fair amount of time today going over the syllabus. If you have questions, make sure to ask them. But this is a writing class. We're going to be writing like almost every day in class, sometimes a little, sometimes a lot. And one of my goals this semester is to persuade you that writing isn't simply about transcribing these pre-existing thoughts. It's actually a way of shaping thought, right? And by doing so, coming to think more clearly and with greater sophistication. As the saying goes, how do I know what I think until I read what I write, right? Now, my colleague, Professor Robertson, from whom I've learned a great deal, used the term think, capital I-N-K, like thinking in ink, to describe in-class writing activities. Don't always need to be in class, right? That give us the opportunity to articulate ideas in writing and hence come to know our thoughts better and indeed to think more clearly. Sometimes I'll use these activities to present you with a hypothetical or what-if scenario, which I like to call thought experiments, right? Which is a term that scientists use to describe experiments carried out in the mind instead of the lab. We can think of the lab as our sheet of paper in front of us. So here's our thought experiment for the day, which unfortunately is far from hypothetical. In the classroom next to ours, a teacher is teaching the same course, Expository Writing English 110. She has the same degree I do. She at least has a master's, potentially an MFA. She produces scholarship as I do. She's been employed at the college for almost as long as I have. However, this teacher makes about a third of what I make. Again, same class, possibly same degree. I also have tenure, which is a form of job security. Now, because she's been here for several years, she's on a 3-year contract, which ensures she's able to get classes here every semester for those 3 years. That gives her a little bit of job security. She can breathe a little easier, has to worry a little bit less about paying rent for those years, feeding the family, although we know that the salary is not sufficient to live in New York that she's getting, right? So she can't breathe entirely easy about these things, right? These 3-year contracts are part of a pilot program that's sunsetting this year, which means that when her contract expires, and hers is going to expire at the end of the year, she goes back to having almost no job security at all. Most egregiously, our employer, City University of New York, is trying to weaken these 3-year contracts by shortening them to 2 years, making people take 12 years before they're even eligible. That's twice as long as it took me to get tenure, right? And on top of that, they're weakening these protections. In other words, they want to make sure that this long-standing colleague of mine, teacher and scholar, who makes a third of what I do, and does the same work I do, has less job security moving forward. Now, pretend for a moment, this is a thought experiment, remember, pretend for a moment that you run the university. How do you justify to her or to me,
Thank you, your time is up. Please leave a copy of your testimony. We will distribute it